Here we go. My soul is a witness. Yes, it is. Woo! Oh, yeah. Same thing again. My soul is a witness. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. Form of love will do for you. It will always see you through. Oh, this my soul is a witness. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. Now, same thing. We just changed the words. You know, my song is a testimony. Yes, it is. Woo! Oh, yeah. You know, my song is a testimony. Yes, it is. Woo! Oh, yeah. For someone who needs to hear God's love is always near. You know, my song is a testimony. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. You know, my life is an example. Yes, it is. Woo! Oh, yeah. You know, my life is an example. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. For someone who needs to see that God's love will always be. You know, my life is an example. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. Now, here's a little for Pablo Cardenas.
All right, everyone, say hello to your neighbor.
Here we go. You know, my soul is a witness. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. You know, my soul is a witness. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. Form of love do for you. It will always see you through. This my soul is a witness. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. 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 Yeah, yeah. Yes, it is. 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 Yeah, yeah. Yes, it is. 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 Yes, it is.
The Elevate Trio. Pablo Cardenas on piano, Peter Dowse on electric bass, and Kelby MacNayr vocals and drums with the VTC Community Choir in the seats. What a way to start another Elevate. Oh, so good, so good. Thank you, everybody, for your energy and your enthusiasm. Whew, here we are, another Elevate, where we are expanding our mind, opening our heart, further activating our soul. And in doing so, we're really just kind of doing one thing, and that is remembering who we are. Remembering that there is this one incredible, amazing, fantastical thing that is happening. Call it what you will. Call it source, call it spirit, call it energy, call it love. We like to do that a lot here at VTC. Call it universe, call it the quantum field of infinite potentiality. Whatever it is that works for you, that's what we're here to remember. that there's only that is going on. And because there's only that, it means each and every individual here, everyone tuning in online, everyone that is, was, and ever will be, everything is that. And not just a little, and not just sometimes on special occasions, but all of it, all the time. So that's what we're doing here as we are elevating every single Wednesday. So how does that feel? How does that sound on a Wednesday evening? Yeah, okay, fantastic. All right, and so let us also remember where we are doing this remembering, where we are celebrating, where we are further connecting and activating that we are on the unceded lands of the Lekwungen peoples, the Songhees and Esquimalt nations, and what an absolute gift it is to be here at their invitation now. And if we take a look at some of the values that they hold dear, forgiveness, love, respect, honesty, courage, we could all embrace those, we could all embody those values more fully. And as we do, not only are we showing gratitude, reverence, and appreciation for who and what we are, but who and what everyone and everything, including the land, including the peoples who have stewarded this land so reverently, so diligently for so long. And as we do all that, we are further activating and amplifying that one incredible, amazing, divine, energetic flow that is moving and grooving its way in, through, and as everyone and everything. So what an absolute gift, what a blessing to be able to live and breathe and work and play and co-create together on these lands. Haishka. All right, and so now some time for some reflective music. And before we go in, actually, I forgot to ask a question. Is there anyone who's here for the first time today on a Wednesday? Wyatt. So let's all welcome Wyatt by doing our usual. We love you. We appreciate you. We're so glad you're here. All right, let's give Wyatt a hand. Welcome, welcome. Met Wyatt a few days ago at the last 9D thing here at BTC. So delighted to have you here with us at Elevate. Okay, so we are moving into some reflective music, and as a reminder, we're going into an opening blessing or prayer right after that. So if you really want to show your appreciation, to not break the magic spell, do this, and then afterwards we'll have an opportunity to clap if you want to do that, okay? Gentlemen, thank you. Just taking a moment to breathe, to feel, to notice, and to receive the beauty and harmony of this musical gift, the tender, loving attention and presence in every note, in every turn of phrase, the stirring that is happening at the very essence of our souls, knowing that what is being stirred, what is further being activated, is that one incredible, dynamic, energetic flow that is the very essence of everyone and everything, alive and active and awake, expanding, evolving, unfolding, unfurling, emanating, and radiating out into the world. And so what an absolute gift and blessing it is to be here now, in this room, in this state of being, in this brand spanking new now moment that is the only moment of pure creativity. And so as we continue with the rest of our time together today, as we continue our exploration of consciousness and leaning into our yearly theme of Here to Thrive in 2025, I am so grateful, so thrilled, so delighted, and so blessed to feel this incredible, amazing energy and vitality fully present right here, right now, knowing that there is always, always more to lean into, more to receive, more to open up to, as consciousness continues to expand in, through, and as everyone and everything, everyone present, everywhere, and every when. So for all the love, for all the awareness, for all of the joy and harmony, for all of the community that is present, for everything that is blossoming, for everything that is on its way, I simply say thank you for it all, knowing that all of it is pure love expressing. So I release, I let go, I trust, and I know, and so it is. So just taking a moment to transition. If you haven't already, feel free to open your eyes, and then if you would like to express your gratitude and appreciation for these super talented, amazing beings. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Kelby, so very, very much. Okay, so our monthly theme of consciousness. And our monthly affirmation to go with, love is all there is, consciousness is everything. So how is that landing for people? How is that sitting with people now that we're about 2/3 of the way through the month? Consciousness is everything. I'm going to hand the mic to someone in the front row. You don't have to be the one to speak, but I know that there's something that someone would like to offer as a share. I'm just going to give this to you, Keely, so I'm far away from it. Otherwise, there's feedback. So who has something that they would like to share about what this theme is unfolding like for them, how it's showing up, or maybe what the affirmation is feeling like in this moment, right here, right now. The floor is yours.
I have something that's kind of coming through, but it's... Is it on? Yeah, it is on.
So hold it like this. Yeah.
Hello? Okay. I have something kind of coming through. I feel... There's a lot. It's too abstract. I need a minute. If someone else wants to share something, and then I can go maybe. It's like I was just seeing like a pearl inside of an oyster, but to the oyster, it's like the most annoying thing. It's like, oh, there's this little like thing in my mouth. Like, get it out. But for us, we're like, ooh, shiny thing. But I just feel a lot of things are like that. It's perspective. And that's why when we change our awareness to illuminate the love that's there, then it's like, ooh, a shiny thing.
All right, that was great. Thank you, Keely. All right. Who else would like to offer something on consciousness? Liz.
This is I guess some of that consciousness awareness has culminated with my participation in the 9D on Saturday, where we have things that are there in the back of our mind that we're not aware of or we're not conscious of at the time, and how it can affect our lives in the now, things from many years ago. And so in that theme of letting go, I was able to release, become very conscious and release and forgive in a big way that has lifted a big weight and created more space for love and for love of that person that I was forgiving. So
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's big. Thank you very much for sharing that, Liz, and congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. One more person, Stephanie, right behind you.
We're winning over here, just so you know. Just kidding. Consciousness took on something new for me. You're good. You can let go. Let go. I've been thinking a lot about consciousness as being my mind, and something shifted this weekend, and it transferred to an awareness of my body. And I was, as I'm actually speaking right now, like I hold them very separate. My mind, my body, separate. But in fact, they're not. And I went skiing this weekend for the first time in 4 years since I was sick. And I was very conscious of my experience physically. And I noticed how the practice of giving myself space physically, and like that whole thing is I love myself, or what was the quote again? Loving...
I am the love of
I am
my
the
life.
love of my life. And it made me think about how on the weekend I noticed how present I was being with my body the whole weekend, and not stepping over things. Like I'd be burning down a run and my legs would be like, on fire, and then I was just like, I would back off and notice and appreciate that I could feel that, but then listen to it and honor it. And so that was new for me, like recognizing that my consciousness isn't just my brain, like my mind, it's my whole being. So that's what I wanted to share.
The gift of presence. Amazing. Thank you. All right, that's great. So we have one more Elevate next week where more shares can be offered. So thank you very much for everyone for sharing today. And I invite you to continue opening up to what does consciousness mean for you? How is it informing your life? And if this affirmation resonates, if there's something in there that helps to open you up even further, then have at it. So for now, we're going to hear some more music. And we're going to move into the feature tune. And I know that Kelby's going to tell us all about it.
Well, actually, I'm not. Because if I tell you the song, you'll know what the song is. Whereas, what I'd like to do is surprise you with the verse, and then you'll probably know it once we get there. But you probably haven't heard the verse. Peter might figure it out. And so then after we go into time, we'll do a cha-cha. So C minor first. Just a big, like, gather around me, everybody. Gather around me while I preach some. Feel a sermon coming on me. The topic will be sin, and that's what I'm again. If you wanna feel my sorrow, well, gather around and just sit tight while I start reviewing the attitude of doing right. You got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta spread joy to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith, or pandemonium's liable to walk along the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah and the whale, Noah and the ark. What did they do when everything looked so blue? Man, they said you got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. What did they do when everything looked so blue? Man, they said you got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. Cardenas, Peter Dowse.
Kelby MacNayr. Thank you so much. Oh, that was so fun. Started out about sin, and I'm like, ooh, I could do a whole other talk there, but okay, thank you. Awesome. Have a seat, gentlemen. Take a break. Okay, so much. So I'm glad that I have an anchor for this month, which is all over the world, Centers for Spiritual Living, which is one of the streams of New Thought, the New Thought movement. They tend to go back to basics, and they tend to talk about what it is that is the basis for science of mind. And instead of kind of going through this 600-ish page book or whatever that is so thick with so much stuff, they turn to the introduction, which is about 60 pages long at the very beginning, and there are 4 parts to it. And so we have talked about the thing itself, we have talked about the way it works, and this week we're talking about what it does. So there's this thing, call it what you will, it's the only thing going on, everyone and everything is that, and then this thing, if it didn't do what it does, would just be this beingness, would be this potentiality, would be just opportunity. And so in order for it to actually fulfill itself, to express, to feel itself, to know itself, it has to fulfill and express itself in, through, and as something. And that something is us. That something is this sea of subjectivity that is available and happening all the time. This is where all the memories, all the thoughts, all the ideas, all the dreams, the inspiration, all of it exists all the time. And whatever we think into it, whatever impresses itself through that, ends up becoming our life experience. And so our life experience is what happens. So spirit, this thing, this potentiality, in order for it to really experience itself, must experience itself in, through, and as something. And that's who and what we are, and that is what becomes our life experience. So I have a quote for you by Ernest Holmes. Spirit is changeless reality. Spirit is never bound by the form it takes and is not affected by any apparent cause or condition, but is forever free. Okay? So this thing, it just is. Okay? It's not bound by anything, even when it expresses itself in, through, and as us. Unique, original, unrepeatable expressions, active expressions, forever unfolding, forever evolving of this thing, of spirit, of universe, of consciousness, of love, of God, whatever you want to call it. Even though it may take form, it isn't bound by that form. Because that form, us, we get to choose how much of that freedom we want to experience. We get to choose every single moment. We are choosing every single moment how much of that allness, how much of that potentiality we want to express as. We're the ones. No one else is making that choice for us, and we're not limiting spirit by being who we are. So what it does is what we're talking about today. And there are 2 aspects of this what it does. There's the universal. So that's the grand scheme of things. That's consciousness, that's God, that's essential unconditional love itself, that's the quantum field. What it needs to do is it needs to express itself in, through, and as everyone and everything. It needs an outlet in order to experience itself. We are that outlet. But if we go back a few months, and we go back to that Alan Watts video that kind of blew my mind, where he was talking about, ooh, if I'm so powerful and I can make myself do this, and then I can make myself do this, and then I can make myself do this, and I can experience this, am I powerful enough that I can make myself forget that I am all powerful? And that's where we come in. We are here to remember who we are. We are here to rediscover that we are that allness expressing itself in, through, and as everyone and everything. And so on the universal, it's expressing and it's fulfilling itself. On the individual level, we are remembering and we're rediscovering. So this morning I was at the gym on the assault runner. Doesn't that sound cool? I was on the assault runner, which is a nifty machine, which I prefer the treadmill. I walk on it. And as I was looking out the window, a big truck pulled up in front of where a bulk barn is. I don't know if that's where it was going. And on the truck, it said, "Elevate the power of your work." Okay? And so I'm there and I'm like, yeah, of course. And so I'm thinking elevate. And I have to say, immediately when I saw it, I'm like, elevate the power of your word, because I'm so focused on the book study that Glenn is doing on Saturdays with the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And impeccability with your word is the first agreement. So, I'm reading it and I'm going like, elevate the power of your word, right? But I'm like, no, hold on a second. Like what I'm talking about tonight is about consciousness, about God, love, spirit, source, whatever, and what it does. And so I'm like, that fits in with work, right? And because it's elevate, hello, how perfect was that, right? But elevate, really, that is to up-level, that is to grow, that is to expand, that is to lean into the new, the unknown, the different, the unyet experienced. That's all elevating is about. And so I thought, yeah, this is it. So what does this company do? So I looked up this company, which is called Iron Mountain. And I said to Glenn on the way here, I must have looked at that website like 10 times, and I'm still not 100% sure what they do. However, there were 4 key points on there, because there's something about strategy and systems and digital and making your partner and whatever, and I'm like, that's not my world. I'm sure it's great for a lot of other people, but it's not my world. But these 4 points, I thought, okay, I can totally put a new thought spin on this. So they would talk about digital transformation, data and IT security, sustainability, and workplace evolution. So I picked out the key words, the first one being transformation. Isn't this what we are doing, like constantly, even if we're not aware of it? We are constantly choosing how much of that allness we want to express as. We are constantly leaning into something. A lot of times it's what's happened in the past, right? Memories, behavior, choices. 95% of the time, we're just kind of moving through life unconsciously, programmed by our subconscious beliefs that are in our subjective mind. And then there's that 5% of the time where we are really clear and focused and present on that ski hill as the muscles are aching, but kind of going, whoa, this is really kind of cool. I'm super aware, right? And so our work is to become more aware. And that transformation is continually taking place. It's a back and forth tug of war. I'm asleep, I'm awake, I'm asleep, I'm awake, I'm aware, I'm not aware. And so I thought, okay, transformation, that works. Consciousness is constantly expanding on the universal, in the individual. Security. I thought, okay, well, what is security about? That's about like knowing something. That's about trusting something. That's about surety, right? And so to me, I'm like, this is about trust and faith. And that can come into play in so many different ways, right? Like, why do I come here? Why am I here? Why do I have the spiritual practices or don't have the spiritual practices in place? Why? A whole bunch of stuff. But once you get really clear on, this is who and what I am, and this is what my work is to do, then you start to trust that even if you don't know how to take the next step, even if you are about to walk off a cliff, the bridge will appear, the wings will sprout, the resources, the teachers, the opportunities that you require to remember who you are will reveal themselves, because guess what? They're always available, always. Everything is always available to us. We're just the ones that close ourselves off or have some kind of hazy lens or glasses or something, some kind of obstruction before us, so we can't see how abundant and rich and resourceful we truly are. So security, surety, consistent spiritual practice, trust and faith. And then sustainability. Well, ongoing. something that can be ongoing, right? So you want to, as you start to awaken, as you start to become more aware, as you continually up level, you want to make sure that maybe you're not biting off more that you can chew, that, maybe you're not real like jumping, trying to jump over there kind of thing. You're just taking a step. Because even though it's within the realm of possibility to have a quantum leap right here, right now, and then know everything that you need to know and experience everything that's yours to experience, the journey is just as important, and it takes as long as it takes. So you want to have practices in place. You want to have the faith and the conviction in place that's going to keep you going. Sustainability, because this journey is ongoing. It never, ever, ever ends. And so you don't want to burn yourself out at the beginning, as if you ever could really, because spirit is always going to want to express in, through, and as you. But sustainability. And then the last thing, evolution. Well, that's what it's all about. Growth, expansion, leaning into the more, leaning into the new and the different, because otherwise all we're doing is repeating the same stuff that we've done and been and chosen that's gotten us to this point right here, right now, which maybe some of it is great, but if we want to really consciously continue evolving, if we want to consciously remember who we are, if we want to open ourselves up to living the most amazing, fantastical, beautiful, brilliant, fulfilling, engaging life that we possibly can, that is ours to live, then we need to keep opening up to the new. We need to keep opening up, no matter how scary, no matter how unnerving it can be. And sometimes being pulled and stretched out of that comfort zone can be really scary. It can get really dark really fast sometimes. But that's when the trust comes in. That's when the faith comes in. Knowing that no matter how hard, no matter how challenging, no matter how dark times get, no matter how dark life can feel, that there is that in me that knows. There is that in me that has all the answers to all the questions I could ever possibly ask. Because consciousness is everything, which means there's nothing that's not consciousness, which means all of it is available all the time. So transformation, security, sustainability, and evolution. And all that came from this slogan on this truck that I saw through the window. Elevate the power of your work. So that's what we're here to do. On Wednesdays, expand your mind, open your heart, activate your soul. All of that's happening anyway, but we get to choose to do it consciously. We get to do it more than it would just kind of happen on its own, because we are the creators of our life. We're the ones who decide what our life experience is like. We can try and go along with the flow, but what's the flow? And how much more interesting can it be if we actually open up to the flow and direct it more consciously, right? So the title of my talk today is Elevate the Power of Your Work, okay? And this is all about being more conscious, with conscious meaning aware of who and what you are and how you're living your life. So really, it's about how intentional are you being with remembering who you are? How intentional are you being about the rediscovery of your amazing awesomeness and capability? Ernest Holmes also writes, "We shall always be discovering new lands. Consequently, evolution is an eternal unfoldment of the more yet to be." And so here I wrote another quote of his: "Never limit your view of life by any past experience." So just because life has been a certain way up until now doesn't mean it has to be that way going forward. Just because this has happened 1,000 times doesn't mean it has to happen 1,001. Just because I thought, felt, believed, whatever over here doesn't mean that that's what I have to think, believe, and feel over here. Every moment we get to choose. We have agency. We're the ones. Even when it feels like maybe we don't have a choice, we totally 100% have a choice. So I encourage you, I invite you, choose consciously. Now, at the book study on Saturday, Glenn gave us an assignment. He found a quote by Don Miguel Ruiz, and it's the one that we had in meditation. And when he first told me this quote, or shared this quote, it just my heart exploded because it felt so good. And so for those who weren't here for meditation, the quote is, "I am the love of my life." And so just sit with that for a moment, which is what Glenn asked us to do all week. I am the love of my life. I am the love of life. I am. Any way you sort of just like chunk it down and parse it, try and put punctuation in there, it's all about love expressing in, through, and as me, in, through, and as everyone here. And when we can remember that, when we can really embody that, like feel it in every single cell, system, and organ, every fiber of our being, what a different place the world can be, what a different life we can create for ourselves. Ernest Holmes also writes, "Should all the wisdom of the universe be poured over us, we should yet receive only that which we are ready to understand. Each receives what he asks for according to his ability to embody." And so this comes back to the work. It's great to notice where you are, and it's also just as important to remember that there is so much more available, so much more to lean into, so many ways to be stretched and pulled and expanded out of our comfort zone into a greater version of who and what we truly are. And it's our job, that is our work, to lean into that, to take part in it consciously, not just passively. We can't participate in our life passively because we're constantly choosing, even if we're not aware of it. So let's choose consciously. Let's participate actively. Now, there was a beautiful book that Glenn got for me when we were in Ventura by Hazrat Inayat Khan. And in there, I actually pulled a whole bunch of stuff out of there for my Sunday talk when I was talking about this. But towards the end, this is what he says, which is our work. The main thing we can do is to awaken ourselves and those around us to a high ideal, to a greater realization of life, and a deeper understanding of truth. As we do that, as we remember and embody this knowing that I am the love of my life, that consciousness is everything, that love is all there is, the more we embrace and embody that, the more we feel it in ourselves, the more we recognize and amplify it in others, and the more we open up the entire world to experiencing more peace, more harmony, more wisdom, more potentiality, more good, and ultimately more love. Because love is all there is, and consciousness is everything. So I'm going to invite you to follow on Glenn's invitation at the book study on Saturday and lean into this affirmation, this invitation, this declaration that I am the love of my life. And so as you move into this week with that as an affirmation, an invitation for yourself to lean into, then I ask you, what's one thing you can do right now to elevate the power of your work? Thank you, and so it is. Okay, so it's time for some conscious conversation. So I invite you to move your chairs into groups of 4, and we'll have about 10 minutes or so. I will ding the meditation bowl when it's time to come back. So anyone who had anything to do with today happening, if you could please rise, if you're not already standing. Music, tech, cleanup, setup, All right, amazing. Okay, let's let these people know how much we appreciate and love them. Here we go. We appreciate you. We love you. We're elevating the power of our work with you. Okay, if you're here for the first time today, stand on up. All right, okay, let's go again. We appreciate you. We love you. We're elevating the power of our work with you. All right, now everybody stand on up. And everybody gets loved up now. We appreciate you. We love you. We're elevating the power of our work with you. And now find one person. Find your person, and you're going to change those we's to I's. Okay, got your person? Here we go. I appreciate you. I love you. I'm elevating the power of my work with you. All right, feel free to hug it out if you want. Okay, and now a little more love and appreciation. You can go on ahead and sit down. Okay, so here's your spiritual fortune cookie for the night. Pick a blessing and then pass the box on, okay? All right. Just knowing that whatever blessing you choose is the exact perfect blessing that you are meant to receive in the moment. All right, and so as that blessing box goes around and you receive this gift from us, I'm going to ask, who is feeling uplifted right now? Who is feeling lighter right now than they did when they walked in? Oh, who's feeling energized maybe compared to when they walked in? Yeah, okay, maybe not just me. Okay, all right. Who is feeling overall better right now? Okay, that's everybody. Fantastic. So the thing that you are feeling, there is never anything that you can run out of, okay? The joy, the upliftment, the energy, the enthusiasm, it is always there, even if you're not feeling it. So now that you are feeling it, now is an opportunity to be generous with that enthusiasm, with that spirit. There are a whole bunch of ways that you can give your love, your generosity, share your generosity with VTC. They're all listed there. There are these tithing envelopes and sheets over there by the silver bowl. However it is that you are choosing to share your generosity tonight, I invite you to place your hands on your heart as, with enthusiasm, we declare this abundance blessing together. In gratitude I give, in gratitude I receive. By embracing generosity with enthusiasm and delight, I celebrate the infinite possibilities of living life lovingly, and so it is. So I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze, whatever it is that feels comfortable, just for one last time. As we bask in this love and appreciation that is growing, that is evolving, that is expanding, that is radiating out into the world. What an absolute gift and blessing it is to be here now, to be part of this love revolution that is forever evolving and unfolding, that is enveloping everyone and everything in its warm, beautiful, glowy, snuggly embrace. So for all the love, for all the generosity of spirit that is present, for all of the love and generosity of spirit that is yet to come, I simply say thank you, thank you, thank you, and yes, more please to it all. Yes, so, so I release, I let go, I trust in this beautiful, delightful glow, as together we say, and so it is. All right, just a handful of announcements. Celebrate on Sundays from 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is what's left of our January events. Next week, there will be a huge roster of February events. Third book study is happening on Saturday. If you haven't come, join us. It is such an amazing conversation. 3 to 4:30. Yeah. There is actually a little poster over there by the Silver Bowl and on the door if you want to see. 3 to 4:30. And okay, many people in the room are already members. If you are not a member and would like to join, this is an amazing time to do so because we have one more board meeting before our annual general meeting in March. And this board meeting in February is when the new members will be approved. So if you feel like you enjoy hanging out here, if you feel like coming here makes a difference in your life, if you feel you're a better person for being part of the VTC community, we invite you to make it official and become a member. There's a form over there in the back. I have a form here at the front. We'd love to have you with us. If you or someone you know is in need of prayer, you can always email prayers@victoriatruthcenter.org or fill out a little form on the back table, and then the VTC prayer team will pray for you and yours affirmatively. We have had a lot of demonstrations in the last week alone of people feeling better, people who are navigating disease like cancer are feeling better, someone who was in the hospital in Palm Springs just got out. Lots of stuff is happening through prayer. If you're not on the newsletter and would like to be in the flow of the know with everything that's happening at VTC, please sign up. The sheet is at the back. And in our community, happening in February, on Sunday, February 16th, about an hour after the Healing Circle, Zoe Hannah Wren is going to be leading this community workshop in song. So it's not as much about singing as it is about vocalization and using the power of your voice to really, really stand in your power. So I'm signing up for this, super looking forward to it. Sunday, February 16th, 2 to 4 p.m. There's more information in the foyer. Anybody else have anything in the community that they are offering, they're involved in, that you would like to share with the rest of us? Nope. Okay. Well, then I'm going to invite everyone to stand up, and we're going to sing our last tune. Another groovy one, When You Believe by Eddie Watkins Jr.
Okay, so this is another one to get your feet stomping on and your hands clapping. Okay. Woo! Anything is possible when you believe. Anything is possible when you believe. Faith can make a mountain move when you believe. Woo! Faith can make a mountain move when you believe. Know that you can change your life when you believe. Know that you can change your life when you believe. Gonna make a miracle when you believe. Gonna make a miracle when you believe. Everything you want, you got when you believe. Everything you want, you got when you believe. In yourself. In yourself. In yourself. In yourself. I believe in you. I believe in you. Sorry. When we believe in each other, there ain't nothing we can do. Oh!
All right, everyone, bless your neighbor for the week.
yourself. In yourself.
The Elevate Trio. Pablo Cardenas on piano, Peter Dowse on electric bass, and Kelby MacNayr vocals and drums. VTC Community Choir, thank you for being here at another Elevate Wednesday, in person, online. We love you. We appreciate you. We are so glad you're here. We'll see you next week.
In yourself.